What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Week 12 Monday Mayhem NFL review show. Not show. I guess this is still a lesson. But anyway, I'm just going to rename this. This is going to be the injury update for the NFL because every week another huge name goes down. This week was no different. It was actually like a really bad week for injuries again. I think the NFL's got to do something about the just blatant nosediving of players on offensive players. It's getting out of hand. And it's really starting to affect the NFL and how watchable these games are. You can only lose so many. Rob Gronkowski's, Le'Veon Bell's, Danny Amendolas, Julian Edelman's, before the game just becomes unwatchable. So, I guess the first name to talk about is Jimmy Graham. Jimmy Graham is officially out for the season, torn patella tendon in his right knee. Rest in peace, Jimmy Graham. I think that could be a career ender as far as any sort of, football relevance. He'll come back, I'm sure. He's got a big contract up there in Seattle, but he's not going to be the same guy. He was already, half of what he was in New Orleans up in Seattle, so not going to be good for him. It sucks to see, especially being a Jimmy Graham owner in a lot of my season-long fantasy leagues. No bueno. So let's move on to talk about Rob Gronkowski. Rob Gronkowski just has a bone bruise, so he will be back probably 2 to 3 weeks. Some people are trying to speculate he'll be back next week. I don't think so. I know it's just a bone bruise, but they'll probably sit him. They're 11-1. Actually, what am I doing? We got to talk about how amazing that Broncos versus Patriots game was. One of the best games of football I've ever seen. I know it was, absolutely atrocious officiating, but the amount of drama in that game was incredible. I remember when the Broncos took the lead and the Pats had a minute left to drive down the field to try and get a field goal. I was just like, you cannot give the Patriots a minute with the ball. They will get it done. And, Gostkowski, that leg is just unbelievable. The driving snow, 48-yarder, boom. He could have kicked a 55-yarder. It would have gone through. Unbelievable kick. And then they obviously lose it on the amazing C.J. Anderson run in overtime. But let's move back to the injury report. Some other guys I want to talk about. Andre Ellington went down again. Another guy who went down for the Cardinals was CJ, Chris Johnson. He's out. So look for David Johnson next week. I think David Johnson is a very sneaky play. I really like David Johnson next week for the Cardinals on the road at St. Louis. He's probably going to be around the $3,800 range in this week's DraftKings player pool. So I'm trying to think of any other injuries we need to cover. Nope, I think those are the big ones I really wanted to talk about as far as openings. But let's talk about opportunities for next week. I think a guy that's going to go underplayed next week is Vance McDonald. Vance McDonald is basically the most reliable target that Blaine Gabbert can throw to for San Francisco. They're on the road in Chicago. Chicago's a team that struggles to defend the tight end position. Vance McDonald scored 2 touchdowns in a row in each of his games since they traded Vernon Davis. So I love Vance McDonald both season long and in DraftKings next week. Look for Jay Cutler to have a nice game next week at home against the San Francisco 49ers. So I love having an Alshon Jeffrey, Jay Cutler stack next week. I will obviously update you guys with the week 13 game-by-game breakdown. I can't believe it's week 13 in the NFL already. But for the Fade DFS, this was our week 12 Monday Mayhem review of the NFL slate. We have a horrific game to watch tonight. I probably won't watch much of this. It's the Baltimore Ravens, quarterbacked by Matt Schaub, versus the Cleveland Browns with Josh McCown back. I'm actually excited to kind of watch the Browns just because I like Gary Barnidge. But is this really a watchable game? Man, the NFL must hate ESPN because they've been giving them horrible Monday night games. The best Monday night game of the season so far was last week's Buffalo Patriots game. That was a great game, but 90% of them have just been unwatchable almost. So maybe I'll grab a beer and have it and have it on the TV, pay attention here or there. Probably not. Anyways, for the Fade DFS, I'm Mike Maxeni. I hope you guys have a lot of success in your DFS endeavors this weekend. I certainly got hit by the injury bug, so it's been an week. See you guys for the game by game breakdown on Wednesday. Thank you. Bye.